Well, hello everybody. Hope you are having a great start to your day. This upcoming weekend in Canada, it is a long weekend. So woo, we're looking forward to that. Hopefully there'll be sunshine in the province or territory that you live in or wherever you are around the world. So thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Lisa Vluswick, nickname Lisa Longball. I'm an 8-time Canadian long drive champion for women. And today I'm here to share with you some tips about golf equipment. Now, I've devoted May to women's golf tips. We did 6 weeks of tips leading up to the month of May that we've focused on. We're now focusing on women's tips, but of course, men are welcome to join us as well. The more the merrier. We want everyone to learn, but I just wanted ladies to know I'm going to make sure we take care of you and give you some tips that are going to help your game. So we're thrilled that you're here today. So we've talked a lot about golf lessons, and you can put as much time and energy into golf lessons and practicing all the neat tips such as turn the shirt, turn the pants, brush the grass, swing all the way through, finish your golf swing and dirty toe. You can do all of that. However, if you don't have the proper golf equipment, it can actually be holding you back. So that's why today's topic is really important. And we're going to cover other golf equipment other than just clubs that can help make the golf game more enjoyable and fun for you as well. So that's what we're doing. So I want to say hello. I see Wadi. Oh, love the content. Thanks, Wadi. I so much appreciate that. Gwen, so glad you've joined us. Hello, hello. I see Leslie has joined us. So thank you very much and really appreciate that. Okay, let's get down to business. Now we're going to start with clubs. I am so honored that my personal club fitter, Robert Penner, owner of Ted and Dave Custom Golf here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, he had a wonderful chat with me as I was preparing for this video to help me pass along through all the thousands of customers he sees and the women he sees. What are some of the biggest misfittings that he sees with women? So thanks so much to Robert and all the advice he's given me to talk about clubs for this session. So we're going to start with the number one misfit club in ladies' bags, and Robert says it is 100% the putter. So the putter is often the most misfit club in a lady's bag, and the reason it's often the most misfit club in a lady's bag is typically women receive their first putter typically as a hand-me-down. Maybe it was from your dad or your grandpa or your uncle or a boyfriend, but somewhere along the line you got a hand-me-down putter. And if it was from a gentleman, then the problem with that is the length of that putter probably is too long. And how does that impact your putting stroke? If your putter is too long, there are 3 things that could happen. Well, number one, it's getting the eyes over the head, or over the ball, should I say. So if your putter's too long, it's really, really hard to get your eyes over the ball, and that's going to cause a myriad of problems. Number 2, if your putter's too long, what you're going to start to see is that the toe of the putter will be raised off the ground. And when the toe of the putter is raised off the ground, you are going to have a lot of different issues in terms of distance control and just getting that ball to roll versus skipping along the ground. So it's really, really important. And then the third aspect that you want to think about in terms of putter fitting is also the loft. And the loft of the putter, and a lot of people don't even realize that a putter has loft, is again, how much it would go up. Most people would think a putter loft would be 0, but in fact, it's usually about 3 or 4 degrees. Now, for people that do a forward hand press, so if you're a putter that likes to press your hands forward when you make a putting stroke, you in fact de-loft your putter. So if you're doing that, your putter and your club fitter can actually open that or give it more loft so it can counterbalance when you do that forward hand press to help you roll the ball properly. So when I talked to Robert about, okay, what do you do for when you're fitting with these ladies with their putters? It's very easy. Often just for length alone, you can pop the grip off, chop it down. He said typically it's 2 to 3 inches he's chopping off most female putters. Often you can save the grip, but not always. And then you can have a new grip put on. Or if you can't reuse that grip, typically a grip can be in that maybe $30 to $40 range. And there's so many different styles of grips. Now, this is kind of a skinnier grip, kind of the older school style grip. And some people love this, and that's fantastic. There's also different shapes of grip. This is more of a like a rectangular kind of feels kind of rectangularly square or in your hands. So this kind of maybe helps you keep that, if you like that prayer position idea when you're putting. This is another idea for a grip. And then there's the larger grip styles. So you'll see the larger grip styles where you start to see maybe they're thicker or wider, and that can really help. If you watched my putting video earlier this season, again, if you missed it, you can always go back to the Golf Town Facebook page to find my putting video. But for those people who are really wristy putters, sometimes having that thicker grip can help you lock your wrists and make that triangle. Remember, we talked about the importance of getting in that prayer position and that we keep that triangle. We don't use our wrists at all in our putting. So sometimes that can help. Now, Robert gave me a great tip. He said when you cut a putter down, it's actually you take a little bit of that swing weight or head weight away, so it's harder to feel the head. And if you add a super thick grip, even more so, you start to feel the head even less. So his recommendation for a lady, especially if you've had your club cut down, don't go for anything more than a mid-sized grip. So if you're getting a super stroke grip, that would be an 01 or an 02 at the max. And he said that will just help you. So especially if you're a feel putter, you're going to want to feel that head. And again, in terms of equipment, putters are completely personal preference. You can have a blade style putter, you can have the mallet style putters. There's so many different styles of putters, and there is no right or wrong answer. Putting is personal preference. So I highly recommend, just because you got a hand-me-down putter, you will make more strokes with this club than any other club in your bag. So this is the club that you need to be in love with. So it's great to start with a hand-me-down putter, but definitely test out different putters, because this can save you more strokes in your game than truly any other club in your bag. For me, I've been actually a blade putter for basically since I started golf, and this year I actually switched to the 10 style putter, and then also one of the most popular alignment lines have been the 2 ball. So I added the 2 ball and what's called the triple track, and with the triple track, holy cow, I have never putted so well in my entire life. I blew my family away this past weekend when we played together. I was sinking putts left, right, and center. So again, this can be an absolute game changer, finding a putter that fits your style and your stroke. So really, really important, and really important to get fitted. Now, when we talk about fitting, women say to me all the time, especially beginner ladies, they'll say, well, Lisa, I'm not good enough to get fitted. And so I asked Robert, what are your thoughts on that? And he said, Lisa, holy cow. He said the people who should most be fitted are our newbie golfers. He said that by being fit properly for equipment, you'll see the biggest drop in strokes, more so than our better players, our single digit handicaps. He said he can tweak equipment, and then again, they'll definitely see improvements, but you're going to see way more improvements as a new golfer if you're using the proper equipment. And so again, often when you're buying a set, there is no fitting fee when you're buying that set. Golf towns have master fitters at each of their golf towns, but I know not all golf towns are open, and not every city has a golf town. So please, I want you, if you want to find a professional fitter, which I highly, highly recommend everyone sees a fitter, just Google golf club fitter, and then put your city in that's your Google search, golf club fitter or fitting, and then your city, and you will find a list of professional club fitters near you. And so again, it makes a huge difference. So again, my fitter, Robert, he's won multiple awards. He's been a multiple Ping Fitter of the Year, and just was awarded top 100 fitter for Callaway in North America. These are people that know what they're doing, that can help you the most. So, and the other part about, I said, well, what about it being too expensive? And he said, often, especially with ladies, they might not need everything from sand wedge all the way up to a 4-iron, which most 5-iron, which most sets come with. So he said it can actually be less expensive because you'll be fitted for the clubs you need, and you might need less clubs, which actually makes it about the same price, or it could even be less. So definitely consider fitting. I'm a huge, huge, huge fan of being fitted. I just want to do a shout out. It says, Wadi asks if Augusta is a really hard course to play. Gosh, it is the hardest course to get on. It looks magnificent. I have not played it myself, so I can't speak to that, but boy, oh boy, those greens look super fast, and one day that I hope to do it. Pat says we're not allowed to golf at the moment, but hopefully, Pat, that I'm hoping after June 2nd, those courses are open in Ontario. So thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate that. And you'll notice that Golf Town just posted a link. I'm going to talk about a ton of products tonight, and I don't want you madly scribbling down. They've got a link right here that they've posted that you can click on that link, and if there's any products you're interested in, you can purchase it right there. Okay, let's move on. After putters, the next thing I want to talk about in your bag are wedges. Now, wedges, I'm a huge fan of wedges. For me, because I hit it a long way, I like to have lots of tools and options around the green. So I actually play with 4 wedges. Now, I don't recommend that for all golfers. Robert said with most of his ladies, a pitching wedge and a sand wedge are probably enough. So I've had ladies ask me, well, Lisa, what's all the difference? Well, the highest lofted wedge that you can get, so that's the wedge with the highest amount of loft, would be typically a 60-degree wedge. Now, I actually went this was so fun. I got a 64-degree wedge. Check this out. This is a 64-degree wedge. This is called a PM grind, and it's got a high toe here. So that's the cool thing with wedges. There's lots of different designs, and this has this high toe, which is really cool, and where the different groove marks are. So most people don't have a 64-degree wedge. I just decided I wanted to be Phil Mickelson for a while. So love this wedge. But typically in a bag, 60-degree wedge would have the most amount of loft. So it would travel the shortest distance, but go the highest. Then you'd have probably a 56 or 58-degree wedge, which would be a sand wedge. And then the next wedge in most sets would be a pitching wedge. But between that, this is for ladies, if you have a huge gap I need you to know how far do I hit my sand wedge and how far do I hit my pitching wedge. And if there is a massive gap, like 15-yard gap or more between how far you hit your sand wedge and how far you hit your pitching wedge, you need what's called a gap wedge or an A wedge. And that's a wedge that's about 52 degrees that would be between a sand and a pitching wedge, and that will help you tremendously. So again, wedges can be such an asset. And what's really important to know about wedges is that I asked Robert about, what do you see with women with fitting in your wedges? And he said, oh boy, he said, often again, wedges are hand-me-down clubs. And he said, if they have steel shafts, he said they can be super, super heavy. And many of the hand-me-down wedges don't have what they call a bounce. And bounce is kind of this enlarged area at the back of the club. This is what helps the club in the sand in particular. And he said, often it won't have a bounce and steel shaft. And so he said, it's really difficult for ladies to swing. So he recommends that many ladies don't know this. There are shafts for wedges for women. So typically it would be a graphite shaft, somewhere between 40 to 45, 65 grams. And he said it's absolutely amazing and really helps women get it up in the air. He said one of his most popular wedges that he sells would be a CB Callaway Wedge. And he said it's a super game forgiving wedge, cavity back. And he said that's one of his most forgiving. So again, so many different designs to help you get it up in the air. So if you're struggling with your wedges, there's lots of different options there. And don't forget the shaft. And if I can tell you anything about any of the clubs here, this is the engine to your golf club. The most important thing that you need to get fitted is your shaft. And the shaft is so important because if you're using the wrong shaft, it could cause your errant shot. So you could be fixing swing faults that have nothing to do with your swing technique. It's that you have the wrong shaft. And so here's just a ballpark number. If your club head speed is is less than 75, 80 miles an hour, you should probably be in a ladies flex shaft. If you are between, and this is just ballpark numbers, 75 to 85 miles an hour, you should be in a men's senior flex shaft. 85 to 95 miles an hour, men's regular flex shaft. 95 to 105 miles an hour would be a men's stiff shaft, and then so on and so forth. So just because you're a lady doesn't mean you should be hitting ladies' shafts, especially my ball players, my softball players, my hockey players. Ladies, if you have any of that motion that you're used to learning how to use that lower body, so if you know about that whole turn the shirt, turn the pants, and you're doing a great job with that turn the pants and have that aggressive move, you probably should be in a stiffer shaft. So again, your poor shots could have nothing to do with your technique. You just might have the wrong shaft. And then this next stat blew my mind. You know what Robert told me about ladies clubs? He said ladies clubs, and that's putters, wedges, irons, the whole 9 yards. He said ladies clubs are designed for ladies that are 5'2" to 5'4". Well, if you're not 5'2" to 5'4", if you're taller than that, you could have clubs that are far too short for you. So again, you can get ladies flex shafts, but that are also longer as well too. And that would come from getting a fitting. So I cannot stress strongly enough, the number one most important part of equipment, shaft, shaft, shaft. Make sure that you have the proper shaft for your club head speed and for your game, and also for your height. And who knew that ladies equipment was built for 5'2" to 5'4" women? So again, if that's not you, you could have the wrong length of shaft. So really important to know. Okay, we're going up to irons. Now to go to irons. Now there's so many different types of irons. There's blade irons, there's muscle back, there's cavity back, there's super game improvement type irons. So what's all the difference? Here's the difference. And what Robert had talked about, he said that if you're looking for a game improvement iron, a game improvement iron would have what we call perimeter weighting. It would have a lot of perimeter weighting. This is another example here. You can see how there's metal all around the outside of this golf club. And what happens there, that makes your miss hits better. So that means if you hit the toe of the club, so if you're making a shot and you hit the toe or you hit closer to the hosel or, low or high, that perimeter weighting will make it a better shot. It will give you more forgiving miss hits, and that's called perimeter weighting. So for someone who's a newer golfer and who needs that, that's a great option. But again, if you're a single digit handicap and you are constantly hitting center of face contact, sure, maybe you could look at a blade or some sort of, or a combination of that. So my club, I don't hit a full blade, but I use the Apex Pro irons, and to me, absolutely my favorite irons. And so this works for me. So again, I don't use a blade, but this is something that there's many different varieties of irons that will match your specific skill level or can actually help your game. And again, this particular iron is part of the Big Bertha Callaway Reva series. And Reva, Callaway was the first equipment company that has really put massive R&D into making a high-end equipment line, and that would be called Reva. So it's Reva Revolutionary. And of course, all the brands put tons of R&D into their equipment. But this is truly the first equipment brand where they've taken thousands and thousands of female players' data. They've looked for what is the average club head speed, what is the average misses, what are the average aspects of a woman's game, average woman's game, and they've designed a club to match for that. So you can see there's a bit of an offset there to help with hitting it straighter. Again, everything that's designed about this club is to help the lady, but this is a more expensive. This is their expensive version. They have different versions. If you're looking for, there's lots of different price points and versions. So this is kind of like an 11-piece set that would come. This would be the Callaway 11 or Reva 11-piece set. This would be more in the $1,700 range, where it comes with a driver, a fairway wood, 2 hybrids, a putter with the stroke lab putter, and also a bag. There's the other club companies also have fantastic. So the TaylorMade has another fantastic set here. You can see the TaylorMade. It's got the Pure Roll putter here, and it's got the RBZ Speed Light. So again, there's lots of different options here where they've got a hybrid, a fairway wood, a driver, pitching wedge, multiple irons. So again, that's a great option, and that would be just in that slightly less price point. And then if you're looking for more of a value price point, this is from Wilson, and this is their Magnolia line, and they've got actually 3 hybrids, which I think is fantastic. 3 hybrids that come with their set, driver and then a wood, and then also multiple irons and a putter and a bag. And this is closer to that $1,400 price point. So again, lots of different options. And as you can see, that you can get with club sets that are made for ladies so that it's all in one. But again, you still want to have that set fitted. It's really important to make sure it fits you. That's the most important part of it. I just want to do a shout out. I see that Cheryl's joined us from Creston, BC. She's enjoying the hot pink. Thank you so much. And she broke 100 with a 98 thanks to my tips. Yes. Thanks so much for sharing that. Congratulations on breaking 100. That's a massive milestone. And Joanne bought a new set of clubs last year from Golf Town and wants to make sure that they're fitted for her. So again, definitely go back to that Golf Town. Make sure it all fits for you, because that's really important and part of the whole process. Okay, the next part we want to talk about hybrids. I'm a big fan of hybrids. I think that every single golfer, male or female, should have a hybrid in their bag. This is just a golf club that has made golf easier. So a hybrid is a hybrid between an iron and a fairway wood. As you can see, it still has that kind of like that bulkier head, but it's kind of shaped much smaller than a fairway wood. And this would replace like a 3 hybrid would replace a 3 wood, 3 iron, should I say? 3 hybrid would replace 3 iron, 4 hybrid would replace 4 iron, those harder to hit clubs, 3 iron, 4 iron, and it's just absolutely genius. Most people, actually, a lot of golfers I know, the highest club they have in their bag is a 5 iron, and then they go into hybrids after that. So when I was speaking to Robert, I said, what are your thoughts about to ladies and hybrids? He said, oh, this is absolutely awesome. He said hybrids, he's seeing more and more of his ladies have 3 or 4 hybrids even in their bag, which is pretty cool. And something else that he's starting to see is, he said, it all depends on your club head speed. So if you don't have a very fast club head speed, and that's okay if you don't, you probably don't need a 3 hybrid and a 4 hybrid and a 5 hybrid. You can maybe go a 3 hybrid and a 5 hybrid, or a 4 hybrid and a 6 hybrid. You could skip one if your club head speed isn't fast enough. So basically the way clubs are designed is with the loft on each of the clubs, the way it's designed is that you should have about a 10-yard distance between each club. So there should be 10 yards between your 8 iron and your 7 iron, and 10 more yards between your 7 iron and your 6 iron, and so on and so forth. So again, what helps you get more distance is the ability to create club head speed. And remember, ladies, when I talked about the arms lifters, if you're an arms lifter, that you probably hit your 8 iron as far as your 7 iron, as far as your 6 iron, that's because you don't have the club head speed. But if you're starting to turn the shirt and turn the pants, you know you're getting more club head speed, and you know you're hitting it longer. So again, when you get fitted, check it out. You might not need a 4 hybrid, a 5 hybrid, a 6 hybrid. You might just need 2 of those or 1 of those. So again, double check that out. But I'm a big fan of hybrids, and you know I taught you in the chipping how we can chip right from off the green, about 10 feet or so or more off the green, that we can chip with the hybrid. It's great out of the rough. So this is a wonderful multi-use club. Definitely a big fan. Okay, the next thing we need to talk about are fairway woods, and this is one of the biggest misconceptions. This was another point that Robert shared with me. He said, Lisa, so many people that come in to be fitted for him, they all say, oh, I need a 3 wood and a 5 wood. And he's like, whoa, there's so many more options, and there are. That is so old school thinking to think you need a 3 wood and a 5 wood. First of all, if you remember, I've spoken to my, when I was teaching some of my clinics last year, my PGA of Canada coach, Paul Horton, I said, talk to us about a 3 wood. He said, Lisa, you need a really good lie to hit a good 3 wood. You need almost a perfect lie to hit a 3 wood. And then Robert said he's finding that a lot of people use their 3 wood just when they're teeing off. So he said that's a lot of money to spend just to tee off with your 3 wood. And so again, he said think of other options. So here, this is a TaylorMade Sim Max here, and this is a 7 wood, as you can see there underneath. That's a 7 wood. So again, so much easier to launch and get into the air, and can give you more distance. So you get more distance from a wood than a hybrid, and easier to hit. It's easier to hit. Another fairway wood, this one is super popular as well. This is called, if you can see there, a Heavenwood. This one is called a Heavenwood. And what's a Heavenwood? A Heavenwood is a 7 wood head, but with a 4 wood shaft. So a 4 wood shaft is longer. So again, it's easier to hit, easier to launch, but will go farther with a 4 wood shaft. Robert also said there's a great wood right there. Maybe ditch the 3 and the 5 and just have a 4 wood. So there's so many options. But again, 3 wood, unless you hit it amazingly well and you've got great conditions, consider using other fairway woods. Oh, and the Maggie says 7 wood's her favorite, and Bridget says she loves her Maverick Heavenwood. Love it. Thanks everyone for the feedback so that other viewers can see what you like and what works for real people, right? And then also, check this out. This is a 9 wood. So again, there's 9 woods, 11 woods, 7, like there's so many different kinds of woods that you might not have considered. And again, the higher the number, the easier it is to hit. The higher the number, the easier it is to hit. So again, if you're someone that likes your woods and these are much easier to launch up in the air, consider getting a bunch of those different kind of woods. Good, Missy, ditch the 3 wood. You won't be the only one who does. I love it. Okay. Now it's time for my favorite club in the bag, driver. So again, I told you, number 1 with all your clubs, and that's wedges, irons, fairwoods, hybrids, and driver, you need to have the right shaft. So shaft is so important. This is my shaft. This is actually a Canadian company. This is Acra Golf Shafts out of Kingston, Ontario. Absolutely love them. They've been my gamer for every World Championships that I've hit the last 10 years. And so again, this is a shaft that's fitted for me. And now a standard gentleman's driver shaft is about 45.5 inches. A standard ladies driver shaft is about 44 inches, and the USGA and the Golf Canada allow up to 48 inches. So of course, in our World Long Drive Championships, we use conforming equipment. So mine is actually 47.25 inches. So the longer your shaft, the more club head speed you're going to generate, but the harder it is to hit straight. So in his prime, Tiger actually cut his shaft down to a 43.5 for a certain amount of time to help him hit it straight, because he didn't need the distance, he needed a little bit more accuracy. So it's really important that you look at the different kind of lengths with shafts. And again, I want to go back just to irons for a second. Robert was telling me when he's fitting irons, especially if any ladies have hand-me-down irons, if the iron is too long for you, again, you'll have that same problem where you'll see the toe come off the ground. And he said this will have massive distance control problems. So again, when you work with a fitter can take your own golf clubs. The golf clubs you have right now, they can adjust the lie angle, and they can adjust the loft to help match the gaps that you have in your bag, and of course the length. So again, you could even have your own set just be fitted properly. It's not about buying all brand new equipment. You can have your own set fitted properly for you. Really, really important to note that. So again, Robert was talking about driver length, and he said, hey, just because you're a woman doesn't mean you need a women's length driver. Remember, they're made for 5'2" to 5'4" ladies. Most equipment companies create their equipment that way for 5'2" to 5'4" ladies. So again, you need to realize that if you're taller, and even if you're not, even if you're 5'4", you might be able to handle a longer driver. So test out those longer drivers, and just knowing if that's a driver length, because again, the longer the driver, the more club head speed you get, which will lead to distance, as long as you can keep it straight. If it's too long, again, you could lose, you could be more errant sometimes, okay? Now, we're gonna talk about women's drivers. So many different drivers on the market. This is a Titleist driver, the TSI. Again, as you can see, lots of different weighting options. You'll see many different, what I love about the new drivers is how you can see, you can change the drivers. So there's the tool. Take time to try it out. If you have a driver that's adjustable, adjust it. Play with it at the driving range. See what it comes with you. This is one of the TaylorMade drivers. This is the TaylorMade Sim 2 Max D. Again, this one can have the draw bias there. And it, as you can see here, all the different lofts. I'm just trying to show you the lofts here. That's a 12-degree driver. And Robert said he recommends most women should have at least a 12-degree driver if possible. The loft is your friend. Loft is your buddy. So again, really important to have loft, especially if you don't swing it very quickly. The faster your club head speed, the higher you launch the ball. So the slower your club head speed, it'll be more difficult to get launch and height. So again, really important. Loft is your friend. So Robert says really want to look at least about 12-degree drivers there. Another option and look at all the different ladies drivers that there are out here, designed for women here. So this is a Cobra Driver. This is a 10.5 degree, but look at this here. It says it can go from a 9 degree to a 12 degree. So again, take time, adjust, and it's not just the loft. You can adjust if you're someone that's slicing all the time, you can put a draw bias on it, which will help you hit it straighter. Or if you're pulling it all the time, you can put a fade bias on it, and again, help straighten it out. So many different types of drivers there. And again, this is the Reva driver. So this is the one that was designed specifically for women. This is a higher price point driver, but has the most R&D in it specifically just for women. And so you can see all the different weighting options, and again, how you have the hosel that can be adjusted and to neutral standard, and you can go add 2 degrees to this or take a degree off as well too. And again, you don't, just because you're a woman, you don't need a ladies club. So again, we're all club companies they all have phenomenal drivers that women can absolutely use. There's great technology in their drivers. There's just sometimes drivers that are specifically help women launch the ball a little bit better, but a lady can definitely use the newest, hottest drivers from each of the club companies, but then it's really important that you have the shaft that fits your club head speed. So again, you don't just need a lady's head per se. You can use the newest, hottest driver from the club company, and then just make sure that you have the shaft that matches your club head speed and just your swing profile. So I see that Mary says, can you change the loft on the driver? Yes, absolutely. You can change on every single one of these drivers. You can change the loft of them. Absolutely. Now, if you're competing, if you have an official handicap, you are not allowed to change a driver or any equipment in the middle of the round. You have to change it before the round. But if you don't have an official handicap, you can try different driver lofts throughout your round if you're not keeping an official handicap. So, and it says, Diane says she loves her XXIO clubs and her Heavenwood's the bomb. See? Love it. Thanks for the feedback, everyone. That's awesome. Okay, so we've kind of gotten through all the clubs part here. Now to talk about different equipment. Oh, one more thing that Robert shared with us. He said, the 15th club, what I consider the 15th club, he said a golf bag. And I was like, what a good point. Part of your equipment is your golf bag. So he shared with us that you want to make sure that you have a bag that fits what you're needing to do. For me, with COVID, I found I was walking way more. So I walked way more last summer. So I made sure my Callaway bag that I got here, it has a backpack straps. So this is super comfortable, super lightweight, easy for me to go take it around. And especially when we need to social distance, this is perfect to have a bag that you can walk with. And again, when you're picking your bag, make sure it matches your properties. So if you're someone that walks, this one's really light and it shows how many different spots do you want. Do you want a spot for each of your clubs? Do you want just 5 spots, 7 spots to how you organize your bag? You're going to want to know where all the little pouches are here. This is a valuables pouch. This has a nice fuzzy white liner in here for your watch or your phone or so forth. You also have in here, you've got insulated pouches that you can put your drinks in to keep your drinks cold. Again, this is extra padding for when you're walking. So when you're purchasing a bag, there's a lot of technology that goes into the bag. So make sure it's one that would fit you. If you know you never walk and you always take a cart, there's cart bags that are heavier and bigger that can fit more stuff and have lots of pockets too. So find a bag that fits you. This could be your 15th club basically in your bag. Okay, let's start talking about different equipment now that help your game. One of the things we want to talk about would be gloves. This is so important, having a glove that fits you. Now, the ladies' gloves, it is endless, the number of ladies' gloves that they have out there. This is just a small sample of the different ladies' gloves that you can purchase out there. And you have to try them on. You have to go to the store and try it on for the feel, the fit. You know, how do you like the fit on your fingers, your hand? And again, each glove is different, so you want to go try those on. But I had someone say to me, you know, Lisa, I have really, really small fingers or I have long nails. What do I do? And there's gloves like this that come with no fingers. Like the fingers part are cut off. So that's an option. If you have short fingers or long nails and you want to find something that helps you, and this also helps you stay cool. So this is a stay cool glove. Or if you have, as a lady, really small hands, you can get a junior glove. So there's junior gloves out there that might fit you. This might be a great option for any ladies with small hands. Now, that is not my problem. I don't have man hands, but I have a larger, my hand doesn't fit into a lady's extra large glove. So for any women that don't fit into a lady's extra large glove, what do? Well, this is a great solution. Check this out. The key is you can get a men's small cadet. Cadet means short fingers. So this glove is a men's small, but when you see cadet on it, it means short fingers. And oh, I love new gloves. Putting a new glove on, oh, it just feels so amazing. But this fits me perfectly. And so it's a men's small cadet, which means short fingers. So again, huge fan. So if you're a lady that has larger than ladies' extra large hands, check out the men's sizes so you don't have poofy hands that way. Okay, the next thing I think that's awesome, thermal. So if any of you play in wet conditions, cold conditions, you want to get a pair of thermal gloves. Thermal gloves will often come with 2. You'll get obviously 2 to keep your hands warm. It keeps your hands warm, and especially if it's wet. And often some of those rain gloves, they actually work better. The wetter they are, the better they work. So I'm a big fan of having a pair of these, especially if you play in inclement weather. If you're a sunny weather golfer, don't worry about it. You don't need those. But in Canada, we sometimes don't have that choice. And this might be one of the best purchases in Canada, and that's cart mitts. Cart mitts, they look like oven mitts. My husband would tell you I wouldn't know what oven mitts look like because I don't love cooking, but cart mitts are spectacular. Cart mitts are awesome because that you can just slip them on while you're going. You just put them on while you're driving from hole to hole. They keep you warm. When you go to make your shot, you make it, put them back on. I'm a big fan of cart mitts. So if you don't have a pair and you live in Canada, you are remiss. You're going to need that. So ask for that for Christmas maybe. Okay, next thing we want to talk about would be tees. So I use wooden tees. I'm old school. I use wooden tees. I really like, if you're purchasing tees, I like this professional, it's called the Pride Professional Tee System, and you'll see it has color on it. So what you can do, it helps you with how far you put the tee into the ground. So you'll notice you can consistently have consistent tee height by knowing there's lines that you can match up to how far you like to put it in the ground. Now if you've seen me tee it up, I like to have the whole ball over, which again, that's a long driver thing. So I use a 3 1/4 tee. But most golfers, you should be probably using a 2 3/4 inch tee. Remember I told you I want to see half the ball over the back of the driver? This would be the right tee length for you. So this is a great tee, but also you can use plastic tees. They last longer. They don't break. I like this tee, the Evolve tee, because again, it has the marking system, so you know how far. And this one has tees that would be for your driver and for irons, because obviously for irons, you only want a little bit of the tee sticking out. And of course, driver, you want to put it on and have half the ball over. Another popular tee has been this tee here. The champagne tees, or they're called martini tees. And for those people that struggle putting the ball on top of the tee, this has a wider top and it's a little easier to put it on. So this is kind of a good tee as well, plastic and reusable. So that's handy too. So I see Patty said, oh, she's got the hand warmer last year. She saw that I talked about it and she bought some. So I love that she's enjoyed it and that her hands have loved it too. Thank you for sharing that. And Penny, she got a new Callaway glove and she loves it. And her thermal gloves, getting cart mitts is next. That's her next purchase. Thanks for sharing this, everyone. I really appreciate it. And if I missed your comment, you know I'll go back and respond at some point this week. I can only respond to 150 at a time, and then I have to take a 12-hour break before I'm allowed to, Facebook allows me to respond some more. So, and I see Cindy enjoys the new Zoom gloves, a great stretch second skin from Golf Town. Those are available, so that's great. Thanks, Cindy. Okay, next thing, this is such an important topic that we need to talk about, and that is balls. Holy cow. What do we do with balls? Are ladies' balls, men's balls? Why do we need ladies' balls, men's balls, all the rest of that? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. So let me start with what are the difference between, let's call them quote unquote ladies' balls, and what are the difference between men's balls? So the difference between ladies and men's balls, typically, there's three big parts actually. Number one, compression. So compression is, there's a compression between 70 and 100, which would be a typical compression for a men's type ball, and for a ladies' ball, it would be between 40 and 60 compression. And so what that means is if you have a slower club head speed, a lower compression ball like 40 to 60 will act more like a trampoline and bounce faster and go farther off a lower compression ball with a slower speed, club head speed. If you have a faster club head speed, a harder ball that would be closer, let's call it 100 compression, will bounce off and go faster and farther with a faster club head speed. So that's number one distinction between golf balls for ladies and men. What we call ladies and men. The second one is dimple patterns. So there's specific dimple patterns that are used for ladies' balls that help the ball get up in the air. It helps launch the ball. So when you buy a ladies' ball, typically it'll be a lower compression and it'll have a dimple pattern that will help it raise the ball in the air. And then the other one is honestly color. So most men's balls are white, and then the ladies' balls can be white for sure. And then there's maybe pink or green or whatever, yellow, lots of different colors. You'll see more of a variety of colors in the ladies' balls than men's. There are many, many balls out there. This is the Callaway Reva ball. This is a great ball, and that is, again, has the lower compression and the dimple. This is the Super Soft. This is the Callaway Super Soft. Very popular matte finish. Women tend to love that. This is the Bridgestone Lady. Again, has that dimple pattern that helps launch it and the lower compression that will help you hit it longer with a slower club head speed. This is a Strixon Lady. So again, this is another popular ball that, again, has that same dimple pattern as well as the lower compression. And then this is the TaylorMade. And please, I apologize if it's either Kalia or Kalea. I'm sorry if I didn't say it right. Kalia or Kalea from TaylorMade. A very popular ball for ladies as well. And again, has those same properties. Now, that's awesome. Here's my issue. I don't believe balls should have any gender attached to it, because it really has to do with personal preference and feel. And yes, it has to do with some club head speed. But there are some ladies that I know swing at 90 to 100 or plus miles an hour. And there's some gentlemen who maybe swing more in that 80 mile an hour bracket and might need a ball with less compression for more distance. So again, it has to do with the type of golfer you are, not if you're a man and not if you're a woman. So I know it's frustrating to, especially my lower single digit handicap or lower better female players, that they have to buy a ladies ball. It shouldn't be labeled men's and ladies. But the reason it is because there's a large percentage of ladies whose club head speed would be under 80, 75 miles an hour with their driver, and they need help launching the ball. So that's the why. That's the why. Now, I had a great tip. One of the best equipment gurus in my mind is a PGA of Canada professional named Scott McLeod out of Kingston, Ontario. He is absolutely phenomenal. Truly one of the most knowledgeable golf gurus I have met. And I talked to him we had a discussion about balls. Okay, get your mind out of the gutter. That's not what we were talking about. But we were talking about, what do the difference between ladies and men's balls? And he said, Lisa, I find that yes, the lower compression balls, you might get a little bit of extra yardage off of them with a slower club head speed. But he thinks, in his personal opinion, don't pick a golf ball just to get a few extra yards, because what you're going to make the most strokes in your game with is short game. So your short game is going to be your putting, your chipping, your pitching. So you want to find a ball that feels great for you with that. And because the USGA puts a limit on how golf balls are designed, he finds that the difference is negligible between how far you can hit each ball. But if distance is your number one, then yes, you probably want to go with a lower compression ball. But he feels you should pick a golf ball based on feel. So typically those ladies golf balls that I showed you, those are 2-piece construction. The higher end balls are 3-piece construction and usually have a urethane cover, and that's what makes them a little bit more expensive. These are 4 sets of balls that were kind of popular, that could be that 3-piece construction or have the nicer, the urethane cover, but are in that mid price point between maybe $30 and $40 some dollars, not the highest end. But the TaylorMade Tour Response was a really popular one. The Bridgestone E6, another popular mid-range ball there. Volvic, also another popular mid-range ball that again is that higher level from the ladies construction, but you'll have better feel around the greens. And then the ERC Soft. Now, the one cool thing about this ball, this is the triple track ball that I was telling you about. So for anyone who really struggles with your putting, if you end up purchasing that triple track putter, the one I just got, this is my new seriously favorite putter. So the ERC2 ball, there we go. Oops, sorry. There it is. Sorry. There, I'm trying to show it to you. There it is. But it comes with the triple track technology. So when you line it up on the golf course, you line it up to your target. You line this up to your target, and then you line you match the putter up with that, and everything is aligned. So if you're someone who loves lines and alignment, you might want to look into getting the triple track balls and the triple track putter to help you with that alignment. That was a great tip. I ended up getting those and love them. Okay, next part of the equipment. Ladies, I have talked to you about the importance of towels. I want every one of you to have a towel on your bag, remember? I've heard many of you tell me you've already started wetting your towel, cleaning your grooves off. Excellent. So this is definitely part of your equipment. No one should ever start a round without a towel that has half the towel that's been put in water and then squeezed out, so that you can clean the grooves off your clubs, because clubs are expensive. And what makes clubs work? Oh, right, the grooves. So if they're filled with dirt and mud, they don't work. So again, this bigger towel, these towels are super popular. So I recommend getting a towel. This is a Canadian brand called Other, and they have really cool designs. And I love that it's a Canadian brand too. So there's lots of fun, cool designs. And so you can kind of find one that matches your personality. I think that's cool. Another piece of equipment technology, this is probably, other than clubs, this is my most favorite piece of golf technology, and that is a rangefinder. I am a massive fan of a rangefinder. I love to know my distance. How far is it to the front of that trap? How far is it to the hazard? How far is it to the front of the green? What is it to the pin? Like, I want to know my numbers. So I love to kind of do the scope, find out exactly how far. Now, rangefinders, you can get one with a slope on it. Now, that's not legal to use in competition. So again, if you're competing, or you can't use it in competition, but I'm a big fan. Bushnell's been my favorite one. I just got this a couple months ago at Golf Town, and this is my favorite rangefinder. When I went to Ireland and we had to play a few courses in meters, and although I'm Canadian, I was like 175 meters, oh my gosh, trying to do them. This to me, then that just, because of course I was looking for the yardage markers on the fairway, but I find, to be more specific, I love knowing a specific yardage, and many people like to wear that on their wrists. So again, if there's so many different types out there. This is a Garmin. This is a really popular one that's new. The Garmin Approach S12, and it comes loaded with 42,000 courses on it. It gives specific yardages, but you can get some of these that you can track your score on it. So again, there's lots of different watch types so check into one that works for you. But if you don't mind wearing something on your wrist, this is another option as well. I'm a huge fan of knowing your distances. The next piece of equipment is the trusty umbrella. I do play in the rain. I am one of those golfers that I will play in the rain. However, you need to have the right gear. So having those wet or thermal gloves, and then also having my umbrella I love having this umbrella. Now, when you get an umbrella, there's small ones, but I like these big tour ones. I'm a big fan of the tour umbrella. So if you're gonna buy an umbrella, check out all the different sizes. But this in here, I can fit my clubs. Heck, I can have my son come in here and join me. So again, I'm a big fan of the bigger tour-sized umbrellas. So when you purchase an umbrella, that'll be in the link there that they have attached. You'll see lots of different sizes. I like the big tour-sized umbrellas. They're awesome. Oh, and you don't have to be on the golf course to use them. You can use them out and about. Okay, COVID purchase. This is a great COVID purchase, and that is all of us are probably walking more, especially with COVID, and we can't share golf carts. So if you need your own pull cart, so there are pull carts that you can have your own pull cart that you can bring, easily folds up, throw it in the back of your trunk, and that you can have, and there's lots of different kinds that you can, so that you can be walking year round, be safely social distance, and also get that great exercise. So I'm a big fan of having your own pull cart, something that's comfortable for you, that you like. And then there's also electric carts where they're more expensive, mind you, but that you put your clubs on it and there's a remote control and you don't even push them. It's like having a caddy. Like, how cool is that? So again, I think that this is a great purchase as well. Okay. Ooh, next one. Oh, this goes back to our putters for equipment. I'm a big fan of having a putter cover. So I like, of course, being from Canada, yay. I love having a putter cover. This is Z-Tech, just because something kind of cool and fun. So you've got the one that your putter comes with, but it's also fun to kind of do neat other putter covers as well too. And of course, there's head covers that you can do that as well. All right. Oh, let's go back to fun purchases, ladies. Now, there's a brand called Glove It, and they love the matchy-matchy. And I know lots of women who love the matchy-matchy, so you might just love this. This is the Glove It glove, okay? So you can see the blue and white. Then you have the matching towel. Okay, it's not the big one, it's the rectangular one, but not bad. You've got the head covers, so there's the matching head covers. And then here's the bag. So how fun is that? And then they've got totally plaid and polka dots, and it comes in tons of bright colors. You can see it's got the cooler frosting pouch there and stuff too. So again, there's lots of cool different bags out there, and especially if you like the matchy-match idea, you can do that. Now, one last piece of equipment I want to share with you before we wrap things up, and this, oh boy, ladies, I can't wait until we get to start traveling again. I know our friends in the United States are starting to travel more and more, and that's so exciting. And in Canada, we're just so hoping to get those vaccines out there so we can start traveling and all over the world. I know Australia is doing a great job with their vaccines and everything, so we're hoping that we can start traveling. So this next purchase, this has to do with a travel cover. So I travel quite a bit for competing when I compete for the World Long Drive Championships, and I've competed on a long drive tour down in the States the past many years. And so I take with me my travel bag. So I need to have a good travel bag. So this is Ogio. Ogio is known for great bags. And as you can see, it's got lots of great technology in terms of the wheels, and then fabric that doesn't rip easily when it's coming down the chute and everything. So you can see here on the back, so it shows you all the different features. So if you're someone who wants to start traveling with your golf clubs, get a good travel cover. Now, you also don't want to snap your clubs when you're traveling. So you can buy this stiff arm. This is by Shock Shield, and it's $29.95. So what you do is you put it in your golf bag, and then if your clubs get thrown on the tarmac, it takes the brunt of the weight. So this will protect your clubs from getting damaged when you're traveling. But I'm going to show you a homemade. This is what happens when you marry an engineer. So MacGyver, you might be familiar with MacGyver, a bit of an old term there. Great TV show. My husband is a bit of a MacGyver, so when I travel, he made a hockey stick for me. So many Canadians have hockey sticks, obviously, in their garages. He cut off the blade of the stick, so we use the butt end of the stick, so that he makes sure this is taller than my tallest club, so my driver. I put the stick in my bag, then I put a sauna tube, so you can go to like Home Depot or whatever and buy one of those concrete foreign tubes. I do a sauna tube. I put the sauna tube over my clubs with the stick, then I put it in my golf travel bag. I haven't broken a club in over 10 years, ever since I started doing this. So this is a great travel tip if you don't want to break your clubs and you're traveling. So hopefully all of these equipment tips have helped you and that it's given you some insight on what's some great equipment to have, what you should purchase. And again, huge thank you to Robert Penner from Ted and Dave Custom Golf for helping me with all the fitting advice for ladies. So please go see your professional fitter. make sure to Google that, a golf club fitting, and then put your city and you'll find professional fitters there, and that's awesome. All right, next week is my last official class, and I'm so sad. I just want to do a shout. I see Caroline, she said smart. She likes my sonotube idea. And Diane, she loves her Samsonite travel bag. Half hard top and bottom. Ooh, pink and black. Ooh, great tips, everyone. Thank you. And Dana said amazing. Thanks so much. Brilliant advice. So thanks, everyone. I will go back and comment. So next week, I'm going to talk about course management. We'll talk about hill lies. We'll talk about how to hit out of a fairway bunker. We're going to talk about what's your money distance. I'm going to help you shave strokes just on course management. So next week's going to be awesome that way. And May 25th, next Tuesday is May 25th. It's also Women's Golf Day Palooza. And so what is that? So Women's Golf Day started 5 years ago, and it's an international initiative that is in now 900 locations in 68 countries. And basically it's a one-day initiative on the first Tuesday of every June, and it's to celebrate women who play golf and encourage women to join the game, encourage more women to try golf, to be part of this wonderful sport. So I have volunteered my time since inception as the Canadian lead of Women's Golf Day, and Golf Town is a big supporter of Women's Golf Day. So next Tuesday is Women's Golf Day Palooza. It's an online celebration. So if you want to go to Women's Golf Day, you'll go to womensgolfday.com. If you Google womensgolfday.com, and you'll see up across the top, one of the little phrases is WGD, which is Women's Golf Day Palooza. WGD Palooza. And I believe they're going to post a link here on the site for you as well. If you go to that, it's free to participate, and it starts at 10 a.m. Eastern, so 8 a.m. Mountain or wherever you are in the world, but 10 a.m. Eastern, and I think it lasts for 4 hours, but you don't have to be there the whole time or just have it on in the background. Jack Nicklaus is doing a presentation, Arnica Sorenstam's doing a presentation, all of the different sponsors of Women's Golf Day are doing tons of free giveaways that day, so May 25th is going to be the online version. Of course, during COVID, we had to come up with some different ideas, and June 1st is the official day, so if your country or where you live or province or state or wherever you may be from has full golf right now. If you click on locations, you can find a Women's Golf Day venue near you, so you can participate on June 1st, which would be the following Tuesday. You can click on locations. But of course in Canada, there's a lot of restrictions going on right now, so there won't be as many locations in Canada this year. But hopefully you can join us next May 25th for Women's Golf Day Palooza, and of course on June 1st. And I'm very much excited, looking forward to doing our on-course management next week. So thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions or want to connect with me, I've had lots of women ask about my golf school and all that. Please feel free to go to my website, which is lisalongball.com, or you can go join me on social media at Twitter at Lisa Longball, Instagram at Lisa Longball, or YouTube at Lisa Longball. So I'd love to connect with you. Thanks very much, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will see you next Tuesday, May 25th. Have a great long weekend, Canadians. Bye, everybody.